What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Zach and Pat Show. I'm Zach.
I'm Pat.
This is the show about manhood, fatherhood, entrepreneurship, and the mentality it takes to be successful at those things. And we'll probably sprinkle in some helpful real estate advice too, because that's what Pat and I do. You know, guys, life can be tough. We can go through some things and struggle at times, but this is the show to let you know that you're not alone. So if you're someone out there going through any of these things, this is the show for you. All right, guys, let's talk about something we all need. High quality, comfortable, stylish clothing that actually holds up in real life. Whether you're grinding at work, hitting the gym, or just hanging out, the Normal brand has you covered. I've been rocking their gear, and let me tell you, it's not your average clothing line. They've nailed it perfect with the perfect blend of durability, comfort, style, whether it's a go-to rugged Henley, a hoodie, a button-down that doesn't make you feel like a stiff, the Normal brand is where it's at. The best part is you can support the show while upgrading your wardrobe. Just hit the link in the description below. Check out their collection. Trust me, once you try it, you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. The Normal brand. Made for real life, built to last. Now go check them out.
Shout out to our friends over at Captain Beard Co. Guys, if you are looking for beard care products, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, give Captain Beard Co. a try. They have this unbelievable beard butter, balm, oils, and then it smells amazing. Ladies, if you're looking for something for your men as a gift to help with their grooming, check them out. Also, if you guys are looking to just set the mood one night, candles, unbelievably smelling candles, made with all natural ingredients here locally to St. Louis. Give them a shot. Also, while you're there, use the promo code Zach and Pat for 10% off your purchase.
Hey there, guys. We really appreciate you checking out the Zach and Pat Show. If you can obviously tell, we are a newer podcast, but one way we're really trying to grow the show is trying to get up the amount of subscribers we have. So, you know, if you're watching the show and you're getting something out of it, we'd really appreciate it if you could click that subscribe button. That would help us out a ton. Please click that button. And now back to the show. We have a very special guest in studio today. I've been excited about this one. He is a third-degree jiu-jitsu black belt under Kyle Watson, the co-owner of Revive BJJ, the owner of Lemon Cleaning and the Prime Coffee Company, the great and powerful Junior Silva. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, Junior. Well, there's so many things that I want to talk to you about. I mean, you do so many things: jiu-jitsu, coffee, cleaning company. I mean, you moved here from Brazil. I have a lot of good questions. Really, I've always wanted to know from you, like, where did martial arts start for you? Like, where did it all begin?
I think I started training. I was 18.
Okay.
I started training with a guy named Pablo Popovich in Florida.
Okay, so you didn't start training until you got to the U.S.
Yes.
Okay.
I had rode before in Brazil, but nothing school, just rolling with friends that knew a little bit of jiu-jitsu. I got to Florida. I started training with Pablo, and years later, I met Baga, one of the guys that run America Top Team in Florida, and he wanted to open a jiu-jitsu school, and he needed somebody to help him teach the kids class and stuff, and that's when I kind of started working on the gym.
Okay.
20 years old.
Okay, so you've been training about 2 years or so, and you
Yes.
kind of jumped into a coaching role. Were you
I'll help him with class, not coaching. I'll be there with the kids' class, clean the mats, sign people up if he needed,
Yeah.
I didn't know English very well, so it was a little hard.
How long had you been in the States when you started?
Training?
Yeah.
Right away. When I
Okay.
got here, I found
really?
the
So
gym.
you
and
came
stuff.
over when you were 18.
Yeah.
Okay.
What ultimately brought you to the U.S. from Brazil?
When I got here with Baga, we couldn't teach. He wasn't training with that guy anymore. So Baga went to train with a guy in Miami called Boca,
Okay.
a really famous old school guy. And I stayed in closer to the area where I was living, training with Pablo. Introduced me to Pablo. I stayed there. Wagner Rocha was a purple belt at the time
shit.
and stuff.
Okay.
Was that big?
Wow.
Pablo Popovich was the biggest name at that time. I don't know if you know that.
I've heard of it.
He
but-
beat Marcelo Garcia,
Yeah.
DCC. He won. So I was training there.
Wow.
And the guys went to jail. America Top Team, the owner, Dan Lambert, invested big time on getting them out of there. And after they got out, Baga got close to them again. Baga was their black belt. They're really close, like family. And then Baga started.
Yeah, so you started training when you were 18, then you helped him open the gym and were training by the time you were 20 or when you were 20, right?
Yes. We started. We were connected to America Top Team at the time. Because some reasons he was not he decided not to be part of America Top Team, and like 2 years later, he started the gym grew, and he went back to America Top Team, started affiliation in Davie, Florida.
Okay. Now how
And,
far? And where you're the American Top Teams in Coconut Creek? Is that right?
Yeah, the main headquarters Coconut Creek. I was working and teaching at the Davie location and
Okay.
Weston location.
Got it. Okay.
And how long from the time you started until you got your black belt, your first degree black belt?
So I got my black belt. I was 26,
Okay.
2013. I got my black belt.
Okay. So 8 years of training to get you to.
Yes.
That's pretty. That's pretty quick in jiu-jitsu standards. You know, you're seeing guys what 10, 12 years.
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's different for everybody, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would say standard. You know, like that. And I always say, you know, roughly 10 years, right? Is that?
Yeah, training full time and focus on jiu-jitsu. Let's say when I start training Baga, 20 to 26, 6 years. You know.
Yeah. That's still
That's
fast.
Fast.
You know, that's amazing, man. Well, and have you always have you did MMA too, right? Or,
I did amateur, small little fights. I never,
Yeah.
backyard stuff in Florida.
Yeah.
You know.
And so you lived in Florida from 18 to when? When did you come here? To St. Louis?
2017.
2017.
Yes.
And what ultimately brought you to
So
St. Louis?
I wanted to open my own gym in Florida, and I got to a point I couldn't open anymore because I was too involved with the guy that gave my black belt.
Yeah, you don't want to
And,
be competition.
Yeah, I had a no compete, and he really didn't want me to open my gym. Wants me to keep working under him, and I wanted out. It wasn't working for me anymore. So I approached my wife and her father, and I told them like I want to get out, open gym somewhere else, or find a new place. So they had a business here. They're opening a business in St. Louis. They had opportunity to buy a business. My wife was gonna run, so they bought the business. I came with her, already the intention like to maybe open a gym in the future and stuff or do something else.
Yeah,
that's how I ended up here.
Was that the cleaning business that she bought?
No, she had another business.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You know,
So
she
just
her
full of
family do a
entrepreneurs.
bunch of different businesses.
Okay.
They used to buy business they're going under, to fix it up and sell it. You
Okay.
know, that's what they,
I see.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Now, is entrepreneurship, is that kind of a cultural thing down in Brazil that made you guys want to come up here and start your own businesses here?
I think it was a big influence on my wife and her family. They're this Jewish business family. They,
Okay.
she likes to do new things, and I'm like that too. So she's always down to start business. She's always doing research, trying to grow her businesses. She's doing really well her cleaning business.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that
do a
runs
great
it.
job with the cleaning business.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I use
And,
you guys. I mean, you guys cleaned my personal home, and then I used you for I think 2 or 3 listings in the last few weeks. To clean
Thank you
houses for
so
my clients.
much. Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
you guys do great.
Thank you. And I think she was the biggest influence. Her and her father.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, is Jessica from here?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Jessica is American. She's
Right.
from,
I mean, is she
Well,
from
from
St. Louis?
from Miami.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So, like, what? I'm curious. What brought? I mean, just the business brought them here.
Yes, it was
Like, just seems so random. You know.
the prices of they used to buy pharmacies and sell it.
Okay.
The prices here are way lower than Florida, anywhere else. New York, we had one in Tampa or New York. Just the price here was cheaper, and I was looking for a new place too, so worked out well.
Yeah. So, and then you moved here, obviously, and then how long after living here were you introduced to like Kyle and
Right
TAC
away.
Team? Right away. Okay.
Right away. So one of the reasons I stayed here, I think, was Kyle, Josh, and Nick.
Yeah.
I wanted to I didn't like St. Louis in the beginning. It was cold and different. So I was like, yeah, we can find somewhere else.
Coming from Brazil to going to Miami. Then coming
Yes, it was different. But I met Kyle and Josh and Nick, and I made a good friendship with them, and I started liking more and more. And I started to stay. I like it a lot. And I wanted, in the beginning, I even talked to Kyle about starting a kids program. They're working with
Mhm.
Kyle, but didn't work out. And Nick Sanders, he wanted to open a gym. He like, we should do something together. And I like him a lot. He's pretty
Oh yeah.
great guy, straight up guy, hard worker, and great teacher. So it was the perfect opportunity, and we found the spot and
Yeah.
started Revive.
And that was 2020,
2019.
2019. Oh man,
Yeah.
right before
Right
the
before
pandemic.
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it got hit hard, bro.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. Because I remember training there like a lot when you guys first opened at the first location.
Yeah, COVID helped us, I think, because the city was closed.
Yeah, so people were coming out to
St. Charles was open, so we opened
so
the
weird.
doors and
yeah, because all the Watsons people were driving to St. Charles to train just because we're all addicted to jiu-jitsu.
yeah, I got COVID 3 times on that, like one after the other, but we kept pushing through, right? We made it.
We survived.
Yeah, we did it.
Well, you have your cleaning company, the coffee company, and your jujitsu. How do you prioritize where, like, what to focus on? Like, what is the, is your main focus on the gym? Is it the coffee? What is your main focus with the 3 companies? And how do you
last
decide?
year, I put a lot of energy into the coffee business.
Okay.
And this year is working. That one doesn't take a lot of my time because I bring 1 container a year of coffee. It's around 320 bags of 60 kilos. I think next year I'll be able to bring 2. No, this year, sorry. In July, I'm bringing another one. So I already have a place to store the coffee in St. Louis. And the people that I have a contract with, they go there and get the coffee, 10 bags a month. So that business already run itself. I don't need to. I just send the invoice once a month and they pay the coffee. So that one is working well. And I have a guy that works with me in Brazil. He's the one that look for the coffee, find like a good coffee and a good price. And he send me the samples and I, give to people to try. So that business running by itself. And the cleaning business, I have an assistant in South Africa. Her name is Nicole.
Yeah, I talk to her all the time.
She has a beautiful voice.
She does have a beautiful voice. I always wonder where she's from. I always thought she was Australian. She's from South Africa.
South Africa,
okay.
yeah.
I would just always assumed Australian. Hello, hello, Zach.
She has like she speaks like Adele kind of.
Yeah,
her voice is beautiful.
She does have a beautiful voice. Yeah,
and she's amazing. She's always down to help. She works out really hard. Also, the business changed her life. Since I met her, she was struggling a lot. Now she bought a house for her family, got married, everything through the business. Like the dollar goes a long way there.
Okay,
and so with the cleaning business, she's a huge help, and my wife. So I only get involved when they really need my help or like with decisions like customers complaining, they break something at somebody's house, or when you get a new contract, a commercial cleaning, I can go there and give her a quote. But if I go to a place and I tell Nicole how much it is, she'll handle from that. She'll call the person, she'll send the invoices. She does a lot. And the gym is where it takes most of my time.
Okay.
I mean?
It's probably the most fun too, right?
It's the most fun to train, But and I teach kids every day that just.
And you're one of the few schools that has kids classes in the area, right?
I think so, right? Kyle don't have it. Josh don't have it anymore. From TAC Team, I'm the only one.
Yeah, I think you're the only one. So I mean, I'll be bringing my boys up there, soon enough.
We have
my oldest is 3, so
Is there an age that you recommend getting kids into it?
I want my kids to grow up in the gym. Okay. So my 3-year-old Kyra, she loves to train. She's tough. She's there. As I bring her, I have a 4 p.m. class from kids 3 to 5, and just being there, she does Muay Thai on Thursday. She throws some jab crosses and kicks. She knows her takedown, and I don't put any pressure on her. She's having fun. She's gonna grow up doing. That's all she knows. That's my plan. And I think a 5 is a good age. Kids at 5 at my gym, they're already sparring, going out and can compete at 6.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think 5. That's probably, I'm probably going to get them into wrestling and jiu-jitsu or one or the other to start. I just haven't really.
I got a 5 and 6-year-old, so
she'll bring them by.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, it'd be,
especially my youngest. He loves to kind of wrestle and play rough. So
yeah. Now what got you into the coffee? Like, is that something you guys did back home? Like, were you involved with coffee growing up, or like what ultimately was like the
area I grew up in Brazil is the bigger export of coffee in the planet.
Okay.
It's Minas, south of Minas, called Zona da Mata. It's an area, that's all they do there is coffee. When my father retired, he bought a coffee farm. My father was a cop, and Brazil's pretty violent. So when he retired, he moved to a farm in the middle of nowhere, on top of a mountain, last house in the mountain. I brought some guys there, pretty far away from everything. And he's a coffee farmer now. My grandparents, they were coffee farmers.
Oh, okay.
So I by going there and see my dad was struggling so much with his coffee farm, I decided to try to help him. And one of my friends, the guy that works with me in Brazil, he introduced me to specialty coffee, a better type of coffee that you prepare different, the way you dry the coffee, the way you pick the coffee, you only use the ripe beans. You dry the coffee in a raised bed so you don't get mildew on it. And they pay better for that type of coffee. It's more work, but pays better. So I decided to like teach my father how to do that and help him. He didn't like it. It's a lot of work. He doesn't believe on that. He's an old school coffee farmer. Yeah. But I met other guys that do coffee that way. And I bought a container from them. 320 bags of coffee, a lot of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
How much is how heavy is a bag?
60 kilos, 132 pounds.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of coffee.
Yeah, that's a lot of coffee, and it's a lot of money. I paid like over $100,000 in coffee and got that here. My first container. When I had that coffee in Jacksonville, I went to the warehouse and saw all the coffee. I did a big mistake. I'm going to lose money. And luckily, I met the guys from Upshot in Carterville. They helped me a lot, They explained me a lot about the coffee, how the business is in America. They're also one of my clients. They bought a bunch of my coffee. And I met the guys from Proving Ground, one of my students, Jacob. And he bought some of my coffee too and helped me out a lot. And I sold that container and I made good connections. So that's when I brought the second one. I was already connected, already sold all the coffee, and that's how I ended up here.
And how long have you been doing the coffee stuff?
This is my 3rd year.
Okay.
Wow. Dude, that's incredible.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. Love it, man.
Yeah, I love coffee.
Dude, me too. I mean, who does? I mean,
Right.
there's people out there that don't. I think they're crazy.
Yeah.
Coffee's the best, man. But
well, what do you think? I mean, because there's been especially here in St. Louis, I'm sure it's kind of the same all over, but like there's just been this massive surge of coffee companies popping up left and right. I mean, there was one that just opened up next to where I live. You've got like Omen Coffee. You've got all these coffee places all over the place in St. Louis. What do you think's driven that rise in coffee here?
I don't know. I think just everybody drinks coffee, right? People see it as a good business, and I think this specialty style of coffee, tasting high-end coffee, make it like wine, and bring people closer to coffee and try to understand more. And it's a good business to be on. You connect the money, the financial aspect with the passion from coffee, and I think that's one of the reasons,
Have you thought about opening a shop?
I don't think so, because I sell the unroasted coffee, the raw bean, and opening a shop, I'd probably be competing with people that I sell coffee to.
True.
And I don't know how to roast, and I'll have to buy roasted from somebody, and
just more of a headache than you want to take
another
on.
business, and I don't think I'll do that well. I won't be a great coffee roaster like people Upshot, Proving Grounds, all the other coffee shops.
Well, it's also a time thing, man. You got so many other things going on too. It's hard to, if you did start a coffee like a coffee shop, it would take away from your time that you're spending at Revive.
Yeah.
And and time that you could focus on the clean. It's like, that's something I've realized. And you got 2 kids. It's like you only got so many hours in the day. And that's something I've realized when I've had kids. It's just like your time just becomes way more valuable.
It's something Kyle Watson talks to me a lot. He's always like, I got a lot of advice from him, and separating that time for your family. And I also have family in Brazil. I'm pretty close to my dad, and I try to go there once a month. I'm also going there and trying coffee and trying to get new coffee here, so I have to go there.
So you go once a month?
I usually go once a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's awesome.
After my father had a heart surgery, I was like, man, I gotta stay close. I gotta take advantage of this, and
exactly,
he's still alive.
Well, what's the culture like down there in Brazil? Like I know, in terms of like the economy, things like that. I mean, are you with the importing of the coffee beans and all that? Are you like getting hit with tariffs? Like, how is that?
Yeah, on my next container that I'm bringing in July, we have a 10% tariff on it. So,
Okay,
but I'm gonna pass that to to the buyers. You know, I already told everybody I can't.
Yeah,
you know, like,
it's gonna get more expensive,
and they probably gonna pass to the people that buy coffee from them. But with the only thing is that 10% Brazil didn't get hit too hard like other countries, and Brazil also buys a lot from USA. You know, we buy more than what we sell to America. So I think with time they're gonna take those tariffs off and get things straight up.
That's good.
Well, what was the hardest part about coming to the U.S. from Brazil?
I think it was the language.
Oh yeah,
the papers, doing everything right after I got here. You know, I had a visa I had to renew a couple times, and it was really hard. It was pretty expensive. But the language was the hardest thing. Learning English by myself. I couldn't go to school. I had to work. I had 2 jobs when I got here. After I started working at the gym, I'll deliver furniture during the day. It's a furniture store in Florida. And from there, I'll go straight to the gym. And I learned English in Jiu-Jitsu.
Really?
Listening to people talking and yes.
Wow. So you
teaching.
No like formal education on it. You just learn on the fly.
Never. Just
jiu-jitsu and
just jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu taught me everything I know. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Crazy, man.
Yeah. So like in baseball, so I played with a lot of guys from Venezuela and the Dominican Republic and all that, and a couple guys from Thailand, and they were like, yeah, we just listened to music. That's how we learned English. We would just watch movies and listen to music.
Yeah, I did that show. Music helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Oh. Now, would you watch, like, I guess if you're watching movies, are you watching with subtitles on so you know what they're saying, or like?
I guess. I mean, we didn't get too far into it. They were trying to teach us Spanish, and we were helping them with English, but we would do like a word of the day type thing with them. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Some of them spoke better English than some of the American guys that I played with.
Well, you speak good English now.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I hope people can understand me. Like, you know, it's a big joke. A TAC team, like nobody can understand me,
it's
bro.
a joke, but like, well, dude, I think the Brazilian accent just sounds cool, and especially like in jiu-jitsu, like I feel like it's just like a cool thing to.
And it's hard to lose.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned TAC Team. So what was it that drew you to joining TAC Team?
When I got here, I wanted to be associated with Kyle Watson and Josh and the guys, and they were looking for a new affiliation too. And they brought up Jared with TAC Team, great guy from Philly, old school. He competed against the guy that gave my black belt, I think in 2000, so I knew about him. They're like old school guys. Yeah. And he was, I think he was the perfect guy for what we were looking for. I didn't want an association that would like demand seminars for my students. Nothing against who does that, but like you gotta sell those seminars once a month or a couple times a year, or charge me fees for being associated with them. And Jared was a perfect guy. He does because he loves jiu-jitsu. He wants to build a great team, and he doesn't tell me how to run my gym. He doesn't demand anything from me other than being a good coach and don't damage the name of the team, don't do anything stupid. And I think that's perfect. And he's a great leader. He's a guy that competed a lot. If you need him, you call, he's there. And that's the path that Kyle wanted to take. And I'm under Kyle, and worked great for me. Perfect.
Awesome.
Kyle's just such a great teacher, man. It's he's joining his gym it's been life-changing for me. Great. Just being affiliated with him and the TAC Team in general. It's just, I feel like we've got such a good culture here in St. Louis and the surrounding areas. It's awesome. Love being a part of it.
Kai is one of those guys that he's always learning. That's why once a week I try to go there, because Kai pushes me to learn. He's always trying to learn something new. He's studying. This guy has been training his whole life, for UFC, won a bunch of tournaments, but he have the attitude, I know enough, or I know better. You got to even be careful around him. You might find yourself teach him a bunch of stuff that he already know, because he's so humble. He like down to learn, and he's perfect.
That's great, man. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've been around jiu-jitsu for a long time. What's like do you have like any crazy stories or anything from like some of the tough people you've trained with, or do you have anybody that you've trained with that's like really stuck out for like, man, this guy was extremely tough?
Oh man,
I'm sure there's a lot
of guys really tough. A lot of training. I had one of my training partners in Florida. he was my black belt, so I promoted him because he was a teenager. He trained with Marcelo Garcia for years, and he got that game from him. His name is Steve Minell. He competed a bunch, but after he's 23, 24, he's dealing with depression, so he's trying not to compete, stay out of social media. Jiu-Jitsu is amazing. I wish he competed more. Josh McKinney, his Jiu-Jitsu is, amazing. Nick, Kyle, but like me and Kyle, we went to train with JT in Chicago once. Yeah. That guy, his Jiu-Jitsu is amazing.
JT Torres.
Yeah, his Jiu-Jitsu is from another planet,
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And the guy I trained under, Baga, that I trained for many years, I trained with him for 12, 13 years, and I never had an easy round with him or even a point that was easy to score. That guy, Jiu-Jitsu is from another level too. You gotta train to see his pressure, where he's like put his weight on top, always on the pocket, always heavy. That old school style is something like I carry on with my game a lot.
Yeah, you're very heavy too.
I try to be.
As for someone who spent a lot of time underneath you, you're very heavy.
Yeah, I try to be. That's the goal, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, with all the stuff you got going on, how often are you still training?
I try to train. I train almost every day. I'm at the gym. I hurt my knee this week. One of my students, this guy Dan, he's a brute. So he yanked my leg hard in the single leg. It was all my fault to pop my knee, but before that, I was training every day. Try to train every day.
What was like the hardest part about opening Revive?
Man, I don't know how to put that because you had the COVID right when you opened. That was the hardest part. Also, like try not to step anybody's toes. I want to be, but there is no other place in St. Louis that I can open a gym without being close to anybody. So at the end of the day, my main thing was stay away from Kyle and Josh, and started gyms right by my house. I was living there. And in the beginning, it's pretty scary because you open a jiu-jitsu gym, you have no members there, it's just you and the mat. And they, in my first
I
kids
hope they
class,
come.
Yeah, I hope they come. And I remember talking to Kyle and Josh, like, oh, people will come for sure. It was me, Nick, and
Amanda. I know Amanda
came
early.
after, but
early,
Amanda, right? I had one of the kids, his mom, one of the moms dropped a kid there, like drove away, like
it's the only kid there.
So it was just us for a while, and then
I guess we're having a kids class now.
Yeah. In the beginning, it's scary.
Yeah,
being by yourself there, and
Yeah, it's crazy. So, like, did you ever run into any problems with like zoning or the city or anything like that?
No, I think St. Charles was pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like St. Charles is a lot easier
ready,
going than.
And my wife takes care of that. She's on top of that. She got all the license, and she did that before. It's my second time doing that. When I started the gym in Florida, it was also only me and the guy that
did it,
that gave me my black belt, and it was only me and him training for like 2 months. I was a white belt, and then we had another purple belt that came, and so I just got beat up for 2 months. And I remember thinking, think anybody else will come, and people came with time. It was way harder back then. You know?
Well, it wasn't as jiu-jitsu wasn't as like relevant or popular as it is now.
Yeah, and you get more of those comments like this really works. What if the guy punch you, or like, why you wearing the gi? And,
right. Yeah.
Nowadays people know, like.
Yeah. Well, I think a huge piece of that is just how popular the UFC's gotten now. I mean, it's so mainstream, and people know what an armbar is, or like that's an easy thing I say, like when someone doesn't really know what jiu-jitsu is. I'm like, have you ever watched UFC when they get on the ground and then like they get each other in the submissions, like the arm lock or the arm bars and stuff like that? That's jiu-jitsu. That's just like the easiest way I can describe it to someone who has no idea what it is.
Yeah, I use that too. That's
just like it's an arm bar. That's jiu-jitsu, or whatever.
It's kind of like I fight UFC.
Yeah,
they're like
I fight UFC. Oh yeah, yeah. I do NFL too. Yeah.
That's how. Yeah.
Well, how have you seen the sport change since you've gotten into it?
I think the sport grew a lot. I remember when I started training, and more, if you go to guys that started before me, was like very towards like to MMA. You know what I mean? You had to have a half top, take the guy down, just basic guards, and I remember when they started doing berimbolo, spin upside down. The guy that I train on is like, what are you doing? Like, if
it's not gonna fucking work.
you're gonna hurt yourself. You're not gonna last long. And if somebody, I think the sport change for more of a like a sport type of or martial arts. But I still believe like if you get a guy that does sport jiu-jitsu and you try to fight him, it's not gonna go well for you because
yeah,
100%. Just because he does jiu-jitsu this way, he knows how to do, knows how to take you down, hold you down, pass your guard, and the sport is a big drum in the sport now. Some people think no gi is better, gi is better. I'm a big believer that you should just roll. If you like jiu-jitsu, come on the gi day, come no gi day. You know, do both, be well-rounded, and if you only want to do one, you know, to
just show up those days.
Yeah, show up those days. But
yeah,
I think a lot of people knows a lot now. People always knows better. They trying to change their sport. Do this way, do that way. This is better, that's better. And for a guy that's been doing it for a long time, I think both ways are great. Gi, no gi, and with wrestling involved. And I know there's a lot of good jiu-jitsu out there. People believe that what you see, like on social media, on TV, are the good guys. And if you go around and train in different gyms, you're gonna a lot of people that don't compete. You don't even know about them, but the jiu-jitsu are really, really good. You know.
Yeah, 100%. I can think of so many people that I know that are, you know, killers in the gym, but they've never competed once. You know, and it's like that doesn't mean that they're not good at jiu-jitsu just because they haven't competed.
Yeah, people have different paths, different goals in life. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
You got any guys that are coming up right now that you're just like, wow, these guys are gonna this kid's gonna be good?
Oh, kids, yeah. I have a lot of like masters guys that are really good. I have this brown belt crew like Joe Kelso, Dustin, Dan, Chance, good, like really good brown belt crew. My purple belts are good. And I have a teenager at my gym. His name is Javier. He's there twice a day, every day. I believe he's going to do great. A guy named Jaden. I sent him to Brazil to train there. He just competed at Brasileiros. He won 3 and lost his 4th match. He's, I believe he's going to do great. You know, I think he's going to build a name for himself, you know.
Awesome. You got any guys come? I know Watson does. Do you have any guys fighting at the CX BJJ coming up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. I have a couple. We have one of our female black belts, Jasmine. I have Adam Crutchfield. We call him the Boto. Yeah. He's one of my purple belts. And we have a black belt. He trained at Wolf's Den too. He teaches at my gym. His name is Austin, black belt Austin, good no gi guy. And I think that's it.
Yeah, we've got quite a few. I think there's 5 from our gym that are competing. So yeah, it's going to be a big TAC team outing for sure.
Yeah, I had all this true, but they got hurt. So
well, Adam trains out of your gym, doesn't he?
Sella, yes, he trains there.
Yeah,
he's one of my guys. Yeah. Really good brown belt, too. Really tough guy.
Yeah, tough guy. I remember. I always tell a story of my very first day in jiu-jitsu at Finney's. We used to play dodgeball to warm up. And I remember it was my very first day, and I threw a dodgeball and hit him right in the face. And he points to me and goes, "New guy, when we're rolling, I'm coming for you." And I look at Adam, and he looks scary. You know, he's got all these tattoos, big cauliflower ear. He's like big. I'm like, oh God, I was terrified. But then obviously when we were rolling, he was nice to me. He knew that it was my first day. But
yeah, he was probably joking.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. You know, Adam
scare the shit out of you.
He just scared the shit out of me. I'm like, oh fuck, what did I do? You know.
Good thing you didn't quit.
Yeah, yeah. Still here. Still getting my ass beat all the time.
Yeah,
so.
taking a roundhouse kick by Uriah Hall is probably
getting
hit in the face with a dodgeball is nothing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, you know, people think being your own boss is freedom. Do you think it's really freedom, or is it just a different kind of pressure?
It's a different kind of pressure, right?
Yeah.
Even if you travel, like when I go to Brazil, I'm always thinking about my gym. Have a problem with the coffee or the cleaning business, makes you want to leave everything and come back home. You know what I mean? Gotta really come down, they'll figure out. But it's a different kind of pressure. I think when you're a business, you're never gonna relax. You know, like you gotta be on top of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's constantly. There's always something. I always say I'm like a firefighter. You know, you're kind of always putting fires out.
Yes.
Is there one mental discipline from jiu-jitsu that has proven to be useful as a business owner?
I think acting under pressure, right?
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu helped me that a lot. Helped my wife too. A lot of people told me that too. Like acting under pressure every day helps in every aspect of your life. I think, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's definitely it's helped me in that way too. I mean, as you know, you can look at you'd have a really, really tough training session, and then the rest of the day you're looking around, you're like, okay, well, nothing's bad. Nothing is as bad as having this guy on top of me trying to choke me unconscious.
Yeah, and that feeling you have after hard training.
Yeah, you just feel like
you can do anything.
Yeah, you can do anything, and
it's the hardest thing you'll do that day. I know, at least that's how I feel. I get done. So
yeah. Well, there's something about jiu-jitsu that humbles you over and over. Do you think that that's like kind of shaped the way that you do things? Having to just like the discipline that you've gotten from jiu-jitsu?
Yes, I think jiu-jitsu always reminds you that no matter how good you're doing, there's those days that people are going to put you back in your place, and that's how life is too,
100%.
You never, you can be doing great today and tomorrow go south, and you just got to deal with it. You got to find a way to fix it and get back up, and jiu-jitsu a lot like that,
Yeah.
Well, you've been training, you've been doing great. Somebody new come in, or somebody you've been beating every day coming.
Yeah, just today beat my ass, and I'm like, man, what the hell happened today? Like normally this guy normally doesn't ever pass my guard, but today he got past me no problem and mounted me, and fuck, like what am I doing wrong? Why am I off today? What is it? I always, when I talk to my friends that don't train, I'll like, they'll be like, well, you ever get like tired of it, or like, I was like, I mean, there's some days where like you guys golf, I'm sure there's days where you golf and you're slicing it into the woods every time. Well, like there's days in jiu-jitsu where I don't feel right, or something is off, or, this guy's having a good day and I'm having a bad day. It's just the only difference is instead of my ball getting lost in the woods, I got I got someone about to break my arm.
Yeah.
Like just the physical, the consequences are a little bit, bigger.
Yeah. The main thing in jiu-jitsu that helped me a lot in life is the connection, anywhere I go. Like when I travel to a new city in Brazil, I can go to a jiu-jitsu gym, train, make friends. When I came to St. Louis, it helped me a lot because that's how I met people. Like when I sent Jaden to Brazil, he was like, I don't know anybody here. I just know my brother. He stayed at my brother's house. We went to a jiu-jitsu gym. 2 weeks later, I go there. He's full of friends. He's trained. He's connected. Like, I want to stay here forever. So anywhere you go, no matter what language people are speaking, you go to a jiu-jitsu gym, you make your friends, you get connected through jiu-jitsu. And jiu-jitsu helped me a lot with that,
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, some of my best friends now are all my jiu-jitsu friends. Like all the guys that I mostly hang out with and like talk to the most and like see the most. Like it's rare that I see like a lot of my old friends these days, with wife, kids, business, it's hard. But like my time with my friends is at jiu-jitsu for the most part, and even on the weekends, like tonight I'm going to a concert with some jiu-jitsu guys, like it's
I think that becomes your tribe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like I think humans need that. Guys, us, we need that guy time and people that you have share the same like sports or hobbies and
doing something hard,
something hard, and people that challenge you and you just expose your weakness to, like getting beat up, giving up there, like each other better by doing that. And that's something like we had an Amazon trip with the guys a couple weeks ago. And
that's so cool.
Connor's pictures, that looked awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. And going there to those tribes and seeing the way they live and all together.
Have you done that before?
No, first time in the Amazon.
Oh, okay. Wow. Now, how far is the Amazon from like where you grew up?
Like from Missouri to California.
Wow. Okay, so far.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. See, like I don't know like the landscape of Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil is pretty big, and people kept asking me on the day, how far are you from home? It's like pretty far. Pretty far. How far? I was like, here, Missouri to California.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, that's far.
It's a whole different world.
It's a pretty big country. Yeah, there's a different type of jungle in my area called Mata Atlântica.
Okay.
So it's kind of like the Amazon, but since it's so far south, changed a little bit. So I never been to the Amazon. That was my first time.
Cool. Yeah. Well, tell me about the trip, because you brought how many guys out there?
10 of us.
10 of you guys.
And my father. I brought my father there. And when I found out my friend there had cancer, I knew it was one of his goals to go to the Amazon. He's a military veteran, was in the Iraq War, Afghanistan for many years, lived there. So I spoke to some of the guys like, oh, we should get him to the Amazon. He wanted to go there. And the guys gave support. Let's go. Let's make it happen. So I knew about this place in the middle of the jungle. I didn't know it was that far from the city, but they had mats and you could go there and train. And we decided to go. Everybody got their tickets. I spoke to the guy who rented the place, and we flew to Manaus, and we drove for like 45 minutes, got on a boat, went in the river for like 45 minutes, and then drove for 3 hours into the middle of the jungle, and then got in a boat again, like 30 minutes in the boat, and they were there. Far from everything.
Quite the adventure.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Wow. And then you guys were there like a week or?
Yeah, a week.
Wow.
Told the guys, like, we're far from everywhere. Let's just train light. I don't want anybody getting hurt here.
Yeah. Oh, man.
First day, they almost killed each other. People getting hurt. Like, let's do that every day then. So we beat each other up there.
Yeah, because you imagine breaking something and then just being all the way out in the middle.
Well, first day that Dan broke his finger. It's like, yeah, I told you to go light. So you already broke something. Let's keep going. Let's hurt each other.
Yeah, it's the first day. We got
trained really hard there. Connor was there, Connor.
Of course, Connor doesn't train light.
Yeah, had to.
I don't think he knows what that word means.
Yeah, Connor comes at you like a bat out of hell.
Yeah, I had the weather there was hot, and and the first time I rode with him there, he came at me really hard, and we didn't have a time. So right when I swept him and got on top of him, I was like, I'm gonna beat him until I stayed on top of for like 10 minutes, beating the life out of him. And felt good. He deserves.
I know he's listening.
Connor.
So. Oh yeah, we love Connor.
Connor's great.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's on a big supporter of Revive. He's always there helping.
Always there. Yeah, he's a good guy. Connor's helped me a ton in my life. I mean, he introduced me to my buddy Alex, that really like kind of showed me the way with real estate. And I mean, Alex.
Yeah. He's that's who I bought my house.
Yeah, I know. It's like just a crazy coincidence. Alex was his realtor when Alex was in town. It's just crazy coincidence. But that's Connor connected me with Alex, and Alex kind of took me under his wing, kind of showed me the ropes with real estate, my first few years. And but yeah, it's just a crazy coincidence that Alex actually just was on the podcast a few weeks ago. He was in town. Yeah,
oh, nice. He's a great guy.
He's a great guy. Yeah.
Well, are there any values from back home in Brazil that you've brought with you that you keep and then maintain here in the States, and that you're going to pass on to your children?
Yes, I grew up in a Christian family, and I'm passing that on to my kids. My wife is Jewish, so we balancing, teaching both cultures, and that's one of the main things. And the family value, like getting close to your grandparents, uncles in Brazil. It's a big thing, like being close to your uncles, your cousins, that family aspect you had from Brazil. I want to pass it on to my kids, I'm big into the diet too. I want to grow up eating like I ate, like real foods, like rice, beans, meat, and stay away from junk food. Because growing up in Brazil, I was so poor that I had no chance, like, to touch chocolate, probably. I remember one Christmas, I got a box of chocolate, and I was so happy. I ate that really slowly because, one box of chocolate. Yeah. Yes, and now I don't crave it. I don't need chocolate. I don't need none of that. So the diet that I learned in Brazil, I'm working hard and passing on to my kids, and my wife helps me big time with that. A big part.
So it's a lot of rice and beans. What else?
We eat a lot of rice and beans, legumes. We eat a lot of meat. Grilling is is what messes
What's your
me
favorite?
Up. I grew a lot of picanha. It's a Brazilian cut. I don't know if you guys had before.
What is it?
Picanha is a type of sirloin cap. Okay. I think they call it in America. And this year I'll invite you guys over. We do a lot of Revive barbecues on my house, and that's my favorite cut for sure.
Okay,
perfect.
But through the kids, I try to get more balanced diet. Even growing up in Brazil, we didn't eat as much meat we eat in America nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Either you have so much access here that you can really hurt yourself. So we try to balance,
Sure, yeah. Now, are you going to teach the girls Portuguese?
I try. I've been working hard on that, now harder. But I'm in the process of building a house in Brazil.
Oh, cool.
For
what? For your dad?
Just for us.
Oh, for you when you go back? Cool.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to spend a month, the December month there.
Oh,
when
cool.
I go, I take my family, and she plays with her cousins, growing up around. Staying closer to the family, I think, will help her learn Portuguese, because here I have a really hard time.
Sure.
I get home.
Yeah.
They don't want to speak Portuguese. If I put a show in Portuguese, they complain. And, They avoid Portuguese.
How often do you take them back with you when you go?
3 times a year.
3 times a year.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, are you the only one from your family here? Is your brother and your father and your father still there?
My mom lives in Florida. I brought my mom.
Okay.
After she divorced my dad, she was alone in Brazil. She lived with me, and now she lives in Florida. Everybody else is there. My father is there, and my brother. But they come. My brother comes often.
Okay.
Does he train?
No, my brother's a fashion designer.
Okay.
He's one. That's why I go to Brazil once a month. He always need like expensive clothing and stuff, or people send gift to. He works with like really, really famous people in Brazil. He does really well. So it's a side thing I do. He'll pay for me to fly there and pay me good amount of money to bring his stuff there.
Cool.
So yeah, he doesn't do any jiu-jitsu.
Curious. Yeah, I've tried to get my brother into it too. He came to like 2 classes and he's like, it's not for me.
Yeah, it's hard to get.
Yeah, it's hard because I mean, when you first start, you're the
Getting your ass kicked.
Yeah, you're the nail before you're the nail for a while before you get to be the hammer.
Yeah, the rest I have a lot of family members that do jiu-jitsu. My dad's brothers, sons, and stuff. They're all doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. So now, what was growing up in Brazil like? You said you guys were really poor. Like, what was that like?
It's way different than America for sure. My dad was a cop, and it was a really stressful job. We always had people like trying to kill him, and so he was a good cop, always against drug dealers. He didn't support that, and he was a good guy. That's all my friends tell me. The people I know that So we always had enemies. That was stressful. Life was different. We were really poor. I remember not having a car or a phone. She was a teenager. The first time we had a phone in my house was in 2001, I think. Wow. I was already a big boy, close to coming to America. And I think people have really good in this country. Look back. One of the things that when Jessica talked about her grandparents, how they had a house and phone and trips, my mom's parents live in a farm with no power. I remember going there on vacation. I'll get a bus and go there at age of 10 years old. I'll go by myself. Had no power. These people live in the middle of nowhere. They had a radio. They would listen to the news or soccer games through radio, and they would hear stories of like America, how good they already have all these. People had computers here already.
Wow. And they're living somewhere with no power.
Yeah, that's something I'm so proud of. See where I come from and how when I got here, I had nothing, just that. I had to get a loan to get the papers to come here. It was $10,000 at the time. It was a lot of money with interest. And where I am today,
yeah,
I came a long way. And I'm really, really, really grateful for this country.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. I mean, what you've built, and really, especially just building what you've built here in St. Louis. I mean, you haven't been here that long. I mean, you've been here since 2017. So you've been here 8 years.
Yeah.
You have 3 successful businesses. Like it's very inspirational. Man.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, let's talk about being a father.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got 2 girls.
2 girls. My wife wants to have another one, but I'm not ready. But
yeah, we're having that same conversation.
and how old are they? You said your youngest is 3?
Yeah, my youngest is 3. Her name is Kyra. The oldest is 6 years old. Her name is Winter. They are my everything. Those girls.
Yeah, they're awesome. They and so does Winter still train? You said the youngest trains. Does
both of them train jiu-jitsu? Yeah.
Awesome.
Winter is more of she likes to paint and music. I drag her to jiu-jitsu. Some days she does well. Yeah. Other days she just run around and complain. But
yeah, that's amazing. So did you always want to be a father growing up?
That's yes, you always saw? I always wanted to have a wife and family. That's grew up with.
Yeah, because you're saying family's very important.
Yeah,
it's
very
culture
important. And when I got married to Jessica, we were worried about having kids, trying to save money, do the right way, the American way. My wife's pretty safe. And we had a trip to Brazil, and all my cousins were running around. My grandma had 10 kids, and each of them had like 5 kids. So I have like
a big family.
Big family.
Yeah.
And my grandma asked Jessica, when are you gonna have a baby? And Jessica like, I'm waiting, for the right time, save money. And she like, look how many grandkids I have. nobody's starving. Everybody's doing great. All the parents are happy. Don't wait. So we got back to America. It's like, gotta have a kid. I told us, yeah, let's do it. And that's how, after the first one, we went to the second one, and probably gonna have a third one. Cause
yeah, amazing.
That's awesome.
Now, how do you think having children has changed your life? I know it's changed mine a ton.
Changed mine a ton too. Like one of the things that changed a lot was how I appreciate life, and I start thinking about even like death and not being around to protect them. That's when my wife was pregnant with my second daughter. I had a problem. I probably know this. Right after I had COVID, like a month later, we were going through a bunch of stress, and the stress out with the second child too. And one day I just fainted at home, and they took me to the hospital. I fainted there again. I had the machines in my chest. My heart stopped for 20 seconds.
Oh, shit.
And just the idea of not being here to meet my second daughter. And I remember praying every day, God, if you give me a chance, never happen again, I'll be the best parent in the world. And I would just want to meet this girl. And I think I got a second chance in life, because in the end of the day, they don't know what happened to me.
Really? Okay.
They wanted to put a peacemaker on me, and then I decided not to do none of that. I just push it through, just by faith, And I'm still here. I feel great. I'm training again, and I think the stress of being a parent, if you don't know how to manage and accept it, and can really get you, know.
Yeah.
And I think I got a second chance, and I'm gonna be the best parent I can be now,
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, if your kid, if your daughters and then any future kids you have were to look at this video or watch this episode in 20 years, what's one thing that you'd want them to take away from this?
I want them to remember they came from, I want them to remember like where her mom came from, where I came from, and I want them to appreciate life. And one of the things, have understanding that we have a song in Brazil that says like, your parents are kids just like you. So understanding if me and my wife did any mistakes and weren't there for them the way they want us to be, we did our best. We try our best, and they mean everything to us. And I hope I did everything great, and they like happy.
Wow,
that's awesome.
Beautiful, man.
You mentioned you're Christian, your wife's Jewish. How do you guys balance? What's that balance like between the two?
In the beginning, she didn't believe in, and I'm not I'm not very religious. I'm just a Christian guy, but I'm open minded. And her grandma is a Holocaust survivor. She died last year, and one point in her life, we were going through a really tough period, and she had a good experience with God, and she's like, I think Jesus talked to me last night, and I wanna be a Christian Jew. That's how she mentioned. Like, oh, okay, let's do it. So now, like, we pray together. She's a Jewish woman that believes that in Jesus, and we pray together. We have a little relationship there. We're in the same page on everything. Like, she does the Jewish holidays. We just did Passover. I do with her. We teach the kids, and she does the whole ceremony. She does everything in Hebrew and stuff, and I'm there supporting her too. And I think we connect perfect.
That's so cool. I mean,
awesome.
You get to experience that new culture and something that's new for you. Like I don't know much about Jewish culture or anything like that, so it's got to be a really cool like
experiences.
Yeah, the first time I did Passover with them, they were doing all this prayer, and they had a raw bone in the table. Yeah, and I remember they put this stuff in the plate, and they put a spice there. It looked like food, or like I don't know what it was. And then nobody was watching. They were praying. I got the spice and put it in my mouth. I tried to, and they started choking. Had an allergy reaction.
Oh wow!
Nobody. I was a marriage. We were just dating. Started choking, and it was my first Passover. So like now I know better. I don't even like.
You're gonna leave that alone.
Yeah,
we don't eat that.
Oh man, that's pretty funny.
Hilarious.
Well, what is What is one thing that you're working with your daughters on right now that you're excited about for them moving forward?
We're doing a lot of things. I'm doing homeschool.
Okay.
Okay, and
How's that working out?
my wife, great. She's always on top of everything, and we also take advantage of the libraries, taking them there. It has different events, and they do swimming classes, other classes too. She's doing great. She's already reading and doing great in math and everything. And I'm gonna be working hard with her in the Portuguese, getting her to speak Portuguese. I've been talking to her more, reading for her, and that's one of the things. And also stocks. I started talking to her last week. Which company you like? She loves Universal Studios.
Okay.
We're going there today. We flying there today.
Oh, today?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Wow,
Cool.
cool.
Thanks for squeezing us in.
Yeah, we're leaving at 6 p.m. and I talked to her last week and she like, oh, I like Universal. We watch all the videos and I got some of the money I have in this account for her and I bought some Universal stocks and I'll be checking her every morning, seeing going up or down so she understands. And that's why like I'm gonna take you there now that you bought the stocks and we're going there, stay there for 2-3 days. We try to go.
Cool. Just the two of you? Or
no, the whole
four
family. 4 of us.
Cool. That's
but
exciting.
the oldest one, that's something I've been working with her.
Cool. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah, understanding money, She saves her money. She has a place where she saves. I make sure she counts like once a month.
Yeah.
So sometimes I go there and steal some of her money.
see if she notices.
Yeah, I try to buy stuff for her. And my wife is always teaching her business too. And she has a good business mind. She goes around, she always carry the lemon cleaning stuff. And she gives to people and she goes to her swimming class or ballet or all the other stuff she does. She likes to go in the neighborhood and leave her people's mailbox, the lemon cleaning stuff.
Really?
No, I'm not lying to you. She asks to do all the time. And she's always inviting people to go to Revive and she's gonna be a little business girl for sure, like her mom.
And then your youngest, is she more like you or more like your wife?
There is a big mix. The youngest look more like my wife, but my youngest is a lot like me. She likes to fight. When I was a kid, I was like that. She always want to throw punches. She wants to train. She's rough,
Yeah.
And the bigger one is a lot like my wife and likes to paint and music,
dancing,
more the art side of things.
Yeah. I don't have any art on me.
Well, hey, jiu-jitsu's an art.
Yeah, that's the only art I know.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Well, Junior, it's been amazing having you on here, man. We've had a lot of fun.
Thank you very much, guys. It means a lot to me. I hope people can understand me.
Yeah.
Great. Perfect.
Yeah. It's been amazing. You've been added a lot of value here. A lot of it's really cool hearing your story and everything. So thank you so much for your time.
Anything else you want to plug or shout out before we let you go?
If you want to train jiu-jitsu, come to Revive. If you open a coffee shop, I can sell you coffee. And
you need your house cleaned.
If you need your house cleaned, we got you. And
we're your business, right?
Yeah. We gotta hustle, right?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Thank you very much for having me here, and I wish you guys all the success in the world.
We appreciate that. Well, I mean, we like to end it with one last question. We play a little game called the Tombstone Game. Okay. Here lies Junior. What's it say on your tombstone?
Can you repeat that?
So here lies Junior. What do you want it to say on your tombstone?
Wow, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Tough.
Take a second to think
take
about
a second.
it if you do.
I don't want to say much. Just that I love my family, and that's it.
Okay.
My family is my everything, and I had great friends. That's something I want to be knowing. Like I met great people through my life, amazing, and I want that to be known.
Perfect.
I love humans. Humans are amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Amazing. Well, thank you again.
Thanks again, man.
And thank you to everybody watching at home. If you could click that subscribe button for us, that would help us out a ton. Click that like button as well. Comment what you thought below, and we will see you next time.